Thanks. So I'll just go back to the earlier slide. So the core lessons that you actually get from the book is rejection is not about you. It's the other person's perspective. आप जो कहो, the other person didn't get it and that was his situation in life. Maybe अभी पैसा नहीं है, अभी उनके लाइफ में कुछ और चल रहा है. So it's not about you. The next lesson, the more rejections you face, you get desensitized, and that's very critical. Like I mentioned, I do this go for no exercise. It desensitizes people, और जब आप नो के पीछे पड़ते हो कोई प्रेशर नहीं है आपके ऊपर एंड कहीं ना कहीं यस भी हो जाता है विच इज एज लॉन्ग एज यू आस्क वाई आफ्टर एवरी रिजेक्शन एंड यू लर्न फ्रॉम इट. And yeah, no is a feedback that you're getting. It's not a failure. So it's a feedback and something that you can learn from, right? So this is a very interesting story. So when Jia Jiang, he, in his experiment, I think this was the fourth or the fifth no that he was chasing. He went to Krispy Kreme, which is a very large chain in the US. Pushkar, you might have gone there sometime on donuts. That they sell donuts, right? And he said, "Can I get a box of donuts in the shape of Olympic rings?" And this was a very unusual respect. सब लोग इधर उधर दौड़ने लगे and he was expecting कि अभी मेरे पे नो गिरने वाला है. But surprisingly, one of the employees of Krispy Kreme, a lady, and again her video is there on the internet on this whole Krispy Kreme wala rejection. She said, "Certainly, let me do that for you." And she checked up how the Olympic logo looked and she cut up some donuts and did some coloring. And you can see on your screen, she created something like this and said, "Will this do? Will this work for you?" He was amazed, saying that, "यार मेरा अजीब अजीब रिक्वेस्ट को भी इसने फुलफिल कर दिया." And that was the first time that he tasted success. He didn't get a no, he got a yes. And when he posted this video on YouTube, the video again went absolutely crazy. It went viral to such an extent that suddenly people started appreciating Krispy Kreme, saying, "You guys must be amazing to have created a culture like this, where your employees are willing to go the extra mile to satisfy your customer." Krispy Kreme then went ahead and gave a reward to this particular employee and went on social media. And I'm sure, Krispy Kreme must have got a lot of mileage out of this particular activity that Jia Jiang did. Incidentally, uh, uh, b- I had shared the same thing with another client of mine who was there today. He had come to my office. His name is Rahul Thakur. So he had come to my office. So he and his uh, wife had gone to this particular store, Wellness Forever, right? जो अपना नेरुल सी वुड्स में कहीं पे गए थे, Wellness Forever. And they made a very strange request and asked for, some product. So that product, when they offered, they said, "Can I get?" Oh, sorry, I am trying to recollect what this was. Okay, so they had gone to, I think, KFC. Okay, they went to KFC जो सीवुड्स में है ना, एंड दे सेड, "अच्छा आपका कुछ तो बकेट या कुछ तो था ऑफ चिकन लेग्स का." दे सेड, "मेरे को आप इसमें से है ना सिर्फ एक दो बकेट में से." दे सेड, "सर ऐसा नहीं होगा, वो बकेट तो लेना ही पड़ेगा." दे सेड, "नहीं हमको तो नहीं चाहिए, हमको एक ही चाहिए, वी जस्ट वांट वन लेग." And I don't think they had one leg, yeah, whatever, at that point in time. So, one chicken leg. So he said, "नहीं bucket तो लेना पड़ेगा sir, that is our pack size." I said, "Okay, रहने दो." And they walked a few meters away, and suddenly The girl at the counter called them back, sir, please, please come. And the guy who was standing behind them, na, he wanted the bucket. So he said, मैं bucket ले रहा हूँ, एक इनको दे देता हूँ. So he went for to get a no, and he actually ended up getting that one chicken leg or something that he wanted because somebody else listened and contributed to the story. So नेट रिजल्ट हम कितनी भी अजीब चीजें नो सोच के मांगते हैं ना, एंड सी आई डोंट थिंक यू एंड आई विल डू दिस काइंड ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट अनलेस वी आर लुकिंग एट इट एज एन एक्सपेरिमेंट. नॉर्मल लाइफ में तो हम करेंगे नहीं, एक्सपेरिमेंट बोल के हम कुछ भी ट्राई करेंगे. एंड यू आर सो सरप्राइज दैट समथिंग लाइक दिस हैपेंड, राइट? So, what does this whole thing about, rejection proof and not being afraid of no and stretching and going for no, what does it mean for sales people? Number one, don't take client rejection personally. It is not about you. It is never about you. Okay, it is about their situation in life, the way they are thinking. उन्होंने जो चश्मा पहना है उससे जो उनको नजर आ रहा है वो रिजेक्शन है. कभी कभी हमारा काम होता है उनका चश्मा बदलना, बट इट्स नॉट यू. इट इज जस्ट द प्रॉब्लम विद देयर पर्सपेक्टिव एंड द वे दे हैव लुक्ड एट इट, राइट? And one more thing is that always, when they say no, never ever take that as a no, final no. Ask an open-ended question, the why behind the no. So, an open-ended question would be, for example, somebody says, honestly, I'm not looking at, uh, investing right now, so I would not be interested, is a no. Let's say you get, if you're selling a mutual fund, for example. So the question would be, certainly sir. So always first agree. हाँ, अगर कोई no बोलता है ना, उसको acknowledge करो. Agree नहीं, sorry, acknowledge करो. Acknowledge and say, yeah, I can understand, that you've said no. May I just know uh, why you're saying no? Is there a reason? Is there some particular challenge that you're facing right now? And that why starts opening a lot of doors. So you basically reframe the rejection as a learning opportunity. So the why could be, he might say that I actually don't think this is the right product, or it might even be currently I'm tight on finances and I don't have money, uh, that I can spare for a particular investment. Whatever be the reason behind the why, it at least opens a door for further conversation. So, for example, one thing could be, yeah, yeah, I realize money is an issue, and a lot of my customers actually, do not have the kind of saving. So, maybe you can open up and say that, would it help if I uh, show you how you can find some money, because I really want this investment to work for you and create money, because your daughter's education or son's education, yeah, whatever, I want to create something. Would it help if I take 10 minutes to just help you figure out where we can find some money? So this can be a reframing the rejection, not by refusing it, saying that yes, I know a lot of people have challenges with money, but you have to just not take the no and go a level further, right? A no is never a final no, and that rejection is not about you. So just again, the attitude has to be, I want to help you. I want to help you find some money because you find this valuable. Or if he says it's not the right product, oh, so my bad. Maybe I gave you the wrong product. What exactly are you looking for? And then you can look at that, right? So the idea of being persistent plus curious. Now, this is a beautiful formula, right? Persistence and curiosity. So, when you ask a question, or that why, and would it help if I can help you learn more or find some money or whatever, whenever you're asking this kind of a question, this question is not to catch that customer.
टेस्ट करते हैं।
Hello. Sorry. Okay. So the question is not to, ha, see, I found you. I found you out. No, it's not that gotcha moment के लिए हम क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते हैं. It is genuinely you have to be curious. बिकॉज आप जानना चाहते हो उनके लाइफ में क्या हो रहा है एंड मे बी आई कैन हेल्प यू इन सम वे या वॉट एवर. वो जो जेन्युइननेस है ना, वो जरूरी है. अभी एक और इसमें परसिस्टेंस भी एक वर्ड है. एंड अक्सर सी ऑल ऑफ अस आर गुड पीपल. Okay, in this room right now, all of us are good people. We have entered because we want to help. We know that what we are doing is good for our customer. But where we end up lacking often is हम persistent नहीं होते हैं. So persistence plus curiosity, going that extra mile, not taking the no, but very politely saying that no, I understand it can be a no. May I know why and how I can help you? And maybe you're slowly uncovering the onion to get to the core, the tattva of the matter. I think that makes all the difference. So if you see persistence and curiosity in a sense is tapas and tattva. So the two things have come together, and that's what results in siddhi, right? So um, that's what this means for salespeople. What Jia Jiang discovered through this whole 100 rejection activity. Um, so understanding the psychology of rejection. So this is an interesting one, right? Jia Jiang says that the part of the brain that gets lit up when you get rejected is actually the same area that gets lit up when you have physical injury. सरप्राइजिंग राइट, कि वही हिस्सा ब्रेन का जो रिजेक्शन से लाइट अप हो जाता है व्हेन दे डू द टेस्ट, दैट सेम हिस्सा इज द वन दैट गेट्स लिट अप व्हेन यू हैव अ फिजिकल इंजरी. इन अदर वर्ड्स, द पेन दैट रिजेक्शन कॉजेज इज अ रियल पेन because the same part of the brain is getting lit up. It's not an imaginary pain. वो रियल पेन है. लोगों को हर्ट होता है रिजेक्शन से. जो फिजिकल वाला पेन है ना, इट इज काइंड ऑफ सिमिलर. दैट सेम, जैसे फिजिकल इंजरी स्टॉप्स यू फ्रॉम ट्राइंग समथिंग द नेक्स्ट टाइम, रिजेक्शन सीम्स टू हैव द सेम इम्पैक्ट, कि रिजेक्शन स्टॉप्स यू फ्रॉम ट्राइंग द नेक्स्ट टाइम अगेन. Okay, this is true. I'm sure all of you have experienced this. If you have ever tried, fear of rejection is worse than rejection itself. ओके. सो अक्सर हम इतना सोच में डूब जाते हैं कि मैंने ये बोला तो उसने वो बोलेगा, तो मैं फिर ये बोलूंगा तो वो बोलेगा, फिर उसने मना कर दिया तो फिर नहीं, शायद अ, अभी दिवाली है तो वो बाहर गया होगा, बिजी होगा. अभी है ना, इतना सुबह वो फोन शायद नहीं उठाएगा, अभी दोपहर को तो वो बिजी होगा. एंड ऑल दिस इज नथिंग बट रिजेक्शन. हमको लगता है वो रिजेक्ट करेगा, हमको पेन होगा. तो द फियर ऑफ रिजेक्शन इज, आपने बिना सोचे. नाउ आई गो बैक टू द 5 सेकेंड रूल बिकॉज आई विल बी टचिंग अपॉन दैट शॉर्टली. बिना सोचे, यू डोंट टेक 5 सेकेंड, यू जस्ट डू 5 4 3 2 1, उठाओ द फोन, गिव अ कॉल. दिवाली के लिए बाहर है तो भी हैप्पी दिवाली बोल के यू कैन एंड द कॉल. देन यू रियलाइज, अरे मैं बेकार में डर रहा था इतना. So the fear of rejection is worse than rejection itself. You just need to go make an attempt and rejection is no problem, right? And building emotional resilience when you do it again and again and again and again, and you're not afraid of rejection anymore, that is when वो छाछ में से जैसे मक्खन ऊपर आता है, from all your competitors in your sector, you rise to the top. You are like that butter right at the top, the absolute premium sales guy, because you've overcome this whole rejection fear and you become emotionally resilient. You're always smiling, you're just straight talking with people. You are not afraid to talk about what you do and how you can make an impact. And rejection is perfectly fine. It is part of the process. So, I'll be, doing an activity. Okay. When do I do this? Okay. Let me do this. So here's an activity, and this is actually my challenge for you guys. If you can just take your pen and pad, make a quick note, and I would love you guys to share it in the financial advisors group, how it went for you. And obviously, next week, जब भी हम करेंगे, I would love to hear your stories. So here's the challenge, right? Number one, reach out to a prospect who has put you on hold. बहुत समय से ही हैज पुट यू ऑन होल्ड, आपने ट्राई कर करके आप थक गए हो रिजेक्शन से. रीच आउट टू समवन लाइक दैट. मेक अ बोल्ड एंड अनयूजुअल रिक्वेस्ट. आपने सब कुछ ट्राई किया है अभी तक, आपने यही बोला है कि आपने सोचा है क्या, हैव यू मेड अ डिसीजन, सो यू डन योर रेगुलर फॉलो अप द वे यू डन. दिस टाइम आई वांट यू टू मेक अ बोल्ड एंड अनयूजुअल रिक्वेस्ट, एंड आई विल गिव यू द एग्जांपल, राइट? Next, I would love, how it felt. आपने वो जब रिक्वेस्ट करते टाइम आपको कैसे लगा? What was going through your mind before you made the request? I think it's important that I want you guys to share that with me in the WhatsApp group and also in the next session. And also what you learned when you went ahead and made the request. And once you made it, maybe you got rejected again, no problem. Reflect on how this applies to future sales, because you made a very unusual request जो उसने अभी तक सुना नहीं है. I'm sure he'll respond a little differently. So there will be some learning that you get out of it. I want you to, capture that learning and figure out, how it is appropriate for you, right? So here's an example of a bold request that you can make. You could probably say, Mr. Sharma, I'd like to make a bold request. Would you be open to giving me 5 minutes of honest feedback on what's holding you back from taking this step? Even if your answer is no, I promise I will learn from it and won't try to sell you again in this call. Okay? Now, this is just an example. I'm just stopping share for a minute here, and I would like to know from you. Are there any more unusual requests you can think of making? अगर कोई आपको बहुत समय से मना कर रहा है, आपके जेब में अभी आया नहीं है. Do you think you can make some unusual request? Something you can think about?
या डेफिनेटली. सी फाइनेंशियल फील्ड में डीआईवाई बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है. आई मीन क्लाइंट take all the ideas. In fact, even they go up to the extent of taking the fund's name also from us, and they start investment on their own without without going through any intermediary. तो ये एक मेजर चैलेंज है. सो इसमें थोड़ा फियर फैक्टर डाल के प्रोबेबली आई कैन थिंक ऑफ मेकिंग ए बोल्ड स्टेटमेंट.
सो जैसे आप बता रहे थे, एक आइडिया है. व्हाट यू कुड प्रॉब्ली ट्राई इज टू कॉल अप वन ऑफ दीज गाइज एंड से, सर काफी टाइम हो गया बात करके, रिसेंटली कुछ हुआ है, एक वन पर्सन आई नो उसके साथ कुछ हुआ है, एक छोटा स्टोरी है, आपसे सिर्फ 2 मिनट चाहिए, वो स्टोरी मुझे सुनाना था, आई थिंक रेलेवेंट है. एंड देन यू कुड से देर वॉज दिस पर्सन, एंड वो ये कर रहा था, ही वॉज डूइंग इट हिमसेल्फ. वो हिमसेल्फ करने में कोई दिक्कत तो है नहीं, लेकिन बाद में जब एक मार्केट क्रैश हुआ, वो स्विच नहीं किया उसने. देर वॉज नो बडी वॉज पेइंग अटेंशन ऑन द पोर्टफोलियो एंड गाइडिंग हिम एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम. एंड एंड रिजल्ट, जब भी उसको जरूरत पड़ा, ओके, व्हेन ही एक्चुअली नीडेड इट एट अ सर्टेन पॉइंट इन टाइम, तभी तो he actually got 5%, 10% less than what he wanted. तो खुद करना is great, fantastic. I think that is good. लेकिन लोग बिजी होते हैं। सो अपने काम में बिजी है तो इस पे ध्यान देने वाला कोई चाहिए। सो मे बी यू कैन टेल अ स्टोरी ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट एंड सी समथिंग लाइक दैट, राइट?
Right. Right.
So yeah, you can make a bold. Pushkar, you keen to try something?
आई एम एक्चुअली पाइपलाइन में बहुत लोग हैं ना, तो उन लोग के साथ ही. बट आई थिंक आई बिलीव वन ऑफ द क्लाइंट्स, एंड आई शेयर दिस वेरी ओपनली. एक क्लाइंट
Okay,
है, ही इज इनटू फोटोग्राफी, एंड आई
okay,
वाज पैशनेट, आई यूज्ड टू बी वेरी पैशनेट अबाउट फोटोग्राफी, एंड ही शोड मी सम इमेजेस. मैं उसको बोला था, भाई तू नेक्स्ट टाइम जाएगा ना, ही इज नॉट अ क्लाइंट येट, आई मेट हिम समवेयर, तो
okay.
नेक्स्ट टाइम कहीं जाएगा ना, मेरे को बता तू कब जा रहा है, आई वुड लाइक टू
हाँ,
जॉइन यू. तो
हाँ,
बाकी कुछ नहीं, he may invest with us, but the other thing is I would learn from him. तो वो थोड़ा अलग, मतलब then if you're in close proximity, then you are, I believe at least, you will have a better chance of connecting and figuring out क्या कर सकते हैं.
absolutely. And he might not go alone. He may go with a group, and
हाँ.
that gives you more opportunities,
हाँ
right?
मतलब यार,
Yeah,
एट दी एंड जो पसंद है वो ट्राई करना चाहिए, दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक.
100%, 100%.
ऑड रिक्वेस्ट है ना, क्या करेगा, नहीं बोलेगा ना, और क्या बोलेगा. नहीं तो
I
मुंह पे
know.
हाँ बोलेगा, वापस कभी फोन नहीं करेगा.
No, but if he's passionate about photography, he would love to do it. There's no doubt about it. Hmm. Great. So I would love to hear from something like my other client Rahul Thakur went to KFC and said one leg of this thing. This was just because he was. I'll tell you what. मैं उसके पीछे का थोड़ा स्टोरी बताता हूँ. There's उसका 15 लाख का आउटस्टैंडिंग था. ओके, विद वन पर्टिकुलर क्लाइंट. और वो पैसा मांग नहीं रहा था बिकॉज उसको गिल्टी लग रहा था कि क्लाइंट का कुछ इश्यूज है अभी तक जो मैंने रिजॉल्व नहीं किए हैं, एंड दैट इज वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस. वो पूरा रिजॉल्व होने में 1-2 महीने लग जाएंगे, फिर मैं जाके मांगूंगा. तो मैंने उसको बोला, बट यू प्रोवाइडेड सर्विस, राइट? देर आर 1 or 2 issues that have to be resolved, which is true in every business. There is nothing like that. सर्विस तुमने दिया है ना. तो बोला हाँ. तो मांग क्यों नहीं? नहीं नहीं, ऐसे कैसे मांगू? वो मेरे से हैप्पी नहीं है तो कैसे मांगू? मैं बोला तुझे धंधा चलाना है यार. यू हैव टू पे सैलरीज, यू हैव टू पे रेंट्स, हाउ विल दिस वर्क? ही सेड नहीं नहीं, कैसे मांगू? देन आई did this whole Jia Jiang with him. I gave him an activity saying kuch karo. He went and did this KFC and a few other things. And next day he came and said, यार सर ये हो गया है ना, मैं आज जा रहा हूं, मैं आज बोलूंगा उनको पैसा देने को. सो द क्लाइंट सेड दैट अरे यार ये इशू अभी तक रिजॉल्व नहीं हुआ है, वो तुम रिजॉल्व करो तब तक मैं तुम्हारा 5 लाख होल्ड कर रहा हूँ, 10 लाख दे देता हूँ. 10 लाख रिलीज किया. क्या बुरा है? What is bad in this outcome, right? So it is just in our mind we keep creating all these unnecessary fears instead of just going for, going for no, as I say. Right. Uh, moving on. So what are the practical tools that are available for salespeople, right? Number one, 5 second rule. I don't have to elaborate this. I have touched upon it twice in two different sessions, actually. And beautiful concept. I think you should, guys, live it, breathe it every day. Whenever you held back from doing something, please think and say, मैंने 5 second रूल फॉलो किया था या नहीं. एंड यू विल फाइंड कि आपने फॉलो नहीं किया, इसलिए आप चूक गए वो करने से, आप डर गए एंड यू डिडंट टेक दैट लीप. सो वेरी वेरी पावरफुल. वंस अगेन टू रिमाइंड यू, when you know something has to be done, give a client a call, make an unusual request, do something like that. Don't think about it. 5 4 3 2 1 and go and just do it. And 5 seconds से ज्यादा वेट किया, fear takes over. And that's the fundamental of this 5 second rule. We've looked at again the brain anatomy, कि the core part of the brain, the limbic system, is where the fight or flight responses are. We should not activate limbic system. We should work with our neocortex, do the plans quickly, go ahead and quickly close it out. The next is the rejection game. This is exactly what Jia Jiang did, right? Every day, 100 days, I want 100 rejections. Go participate in a rejection game. Do it everywhere, not just in your office. Try and make unusual requests in different places and see what happens, right? Uh, Go to, for example, go to a restaurant, okay? Uh, let's say with your family and have dinner and tell them it's my birthday today, okay? Can you, is there a special discount for birthday? You don't know. You might end up getting a discount or you may not get a discount, but he might end up giving you a small cake. Happy birthday, bolke. Okay. So this is just a weird idea. I'm not saying jhoot bolo jaake, but I'm just saying make weird requests and you'll be amazed how things work. I think I have told you guys this story, but I'll tell it again. There was this US businessman who had season passes for baseball for his favorite club in their stadium. He had the box office ka season pass, and being a business owner, he could host say 4 or 5 of his clients also, and go for a baseball game every time. So what he would do, he would take his clients for the baseball game, and somewhere in between the game, he will say, guys, you all be here, I'll just be back. They'll say, hey, but take your pass and go. Don't forget your pass because they'll not allow you to come back in without your season pass. He says, nahi yaar, I don't need the pass. And when I started my business, and it was a small business, मैं ही sell करता था and I was a big hustler. Even now, there is a team and there's an entire sales department and everyone who does it, but I don't want to lose my skills. I want to keep sharpening the saw, sharpening the knife. And he would go out without a pass and use all his verbal skills and request and yay and wo and whatever and convince security to allow him to enter this special box just to keep his skills sharp, right? And he would try all his tools and techniques. So yeah, people do that. This rejection game, there are topmost business guys who still seem to be doing it like this person does. Then make a bold request. Let's see kya hota hai. Okay. Then there is this another tip called as the yes ladder. Okay. So yes ladder essentially is that you ask very small questions to build comfort. Small asks like, is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Is it okay if I, counter you? Is it okay if I do this? So get a bunch of yeses from them to finally, maybe the last yes becomes a little easier. So this is what we call as the yes ladder, right? In fact, even a few no's in this yes ladder is perfectly fine. You have to let your other person know that it's okay to say no. They should also not be मजबूरी में yes नहीं होना चाहिए. They should be comfortable to say no. So ये yes ladders में एक दो no भी रहेगा, that is not a problem at all. But that's a sales technique, right? You keep asking questions and try and get yeses from them. And even encourage a few no's. Tell them that, boss, if you're not comfortable, please say no. You should do all that. So, and finally, after every such rejection, every time you get rejected, it's worthwhile spending a couple of minutes to think कि क्या हुआ? What was the cause of the rejection? Could I have done something differently? Could I have asked a couple of more questions? Or this is a final no beyond which nothing can be done? Is a introspection and what can improve. Do I need to get certain skills, etc., etc.? So these are the tools. So the four tools here we are talking about is the 5 second rule, which you are aware. rejection game which I am challenging you. Make a bold ask every day. And I don't care if it is with a customer or at a shop or, in a hotel or a restaurant, doesn't matter. Try and make a bold ask and post in the group. I would love to know how it went. Use the yes ladder. No's are also perfectly fine. The person should be comfortable to say no. Because if अगर जबरदस्ती यस यस बोला है ना, वो फाइनल भी यस बोलता है, फिर फोन उठाने बंद कर देता है उसके बाद में. So that final yes is not really a yes. So you have to make them comfortable to say no as well. And finally, after every rejection, introspect. Okay, debrief means introspect. सोचो क्या हुआ. So these are some tools you can probably use. Uh, a couple of key takeaways that we can have from this: rejection is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Okay, this is a powerful line. कि रिजेक्शन तो होना है, वो सफर करना आपके हाथ में है. यू कैन चूज नॉट टू सफर, राइट? दैट्स हाउ यू नीड टू मेक योर सेल्फ. Curiosity and courage. So, every rejection, be curious. Ask that question. Why? Okay. First, acknowledge the rejection. No, no, I understand. Not everyone needs something like this. But I just wanted to know your reason. And I'm not going to try to sell you. I just wanted to know your reason. What's your challenge or whatever. So you have to have curiosity and courage, and that's when you transform rejection into an opportunity. Every no brings you closer to a meaningful yes. So why is that the case? Because you learn from every no. From every no, you learn something. The no's teach you, यार. Yeses don't teach you. Yes के बाद आप celebrate करते हो, सीखते कहाँ हो? ओके, नो में सीखने का मौका मिलता है. सो एवरी नो ब्रिंग्स यू क्लोजर टू अ यस. एंड कॉन्फिडेंस ग्रोज ओनली व्हेन यू स्टेप आउटसाइड योर कंफर्ट जोन. जब तक आप कंफर्ट जोन में हो, वो कॉन्फिडेंस आता नहीं है. आई हैव गिवन माई एग्जाम्पल विद पब्लिक स्पीकिंग, राइट? I think I must have told you guys in the past that there was a time when I was absolutely scared to stand in front of 10 people and give a speech. I do that for a living now. And the only way I did it is I just went and did it. Went outside my comfort zone, started doing, and I found people to be kind. People were very saying that, "Arey, come on, good, 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 well done. Tali bajaya char logon ne." I know it was not good, but people were kind, and I went from strength to strength after that. यशवंत, you attended a few of my sessions, so वहां खड़ा रह के आज मैं कंफर्टेबल हूं, लेकिन वैसा कभी था नहीं. There was a time till the age of 26 when I just couldn't stand and talk, was really afraid of speaking. After that, I said, this will not do, right? So, a final thought, the last slide for today's presentation is rejection is a numbers game. If you play long enough and smart enough, you will win. This is what Jia Jiang has said in his book, that it's a numbers game. हम है ना नो से निराश होके ट्राई करना बंद कर देते हैं, then you will not even. There is a famous line attributed to Michael Jordan, who says, who gives his numbers and says, though I'm supposed to be this legendary player, I have lost more than I have won. And he goes on to list the number of matches he has lost versus the number of matches he has won. And indeed, he lost more matches. And I have hit, fewer baskets than I have missed. And again, if you look at it, the number of attempts where he made to make a basket was the losses, the misses were far more than the hits. And because I have lost more than I have won, that is the reason why I'm successful. Now, these are Michael Jordan's lines. I've rephrased it a bit. You could check it up on the internet. Michael Jordan has said something, and he finally ends with one line saying, but one thing is for sure, I never scored a single point from the shots I did not take. जब मैंने ट्राई ही नहीं किया तो पॉइंट कहाँ से आएगा? ट्राई करूंगा तो फेल होऊंगा, फेल होते होते सक्सेस भी होगा, and then the conversion happens. This was what Michael Jordan said. We know him as one of the greatest sports and athletes of all time. So that's in short what Jia Jiang and rejection proof is all about. Uh, any quick shares or takeaways, guys, you want to share? I would love to hear from you. Thoda chota session hai, but that's fine. As long as there is learning, we can definitely take it. Yeah. Yes, Yeshwan. Please
Super,
go ahead.
फैंटास्टिक फैंटास्टिक हम इसमें एक एग्जांपल सचिन तेंदुलकर का भी ले सकते हैं. आई मीन ये स्कोर्ड अभी तो वनडे में काफी रिकॉर्ड्स है. ये स्कोर्ड मैक्सिमम रन्स. एक साल पहले तक सेंचुरीज भी ज्यादा थी उसकी. बट फर्स्ट सेंचुरी स्कोर्ड इन इज 79th वनडे. तब तक वो स्कोर नहीं कर पाया. तो रिजेक्शन फेल्यूर, आई डोंट नो, रिजेक्शन को फेल्यूर भी बोल सकते हैं.
Sure.
तो
Yeah.
So he mastered the art of overcoming that failure. He kept on practicing. He had a coach of Ramakant Achrekar sir, and by virtue of continuous practice and overcoming the rejection, he scored so many runs. So that's a prime example we can take.
True. True. Lovely. So, Pushkar, your takeaways, if you can just share.
I absolutely love the session. I think ये ना अपने दिमाग में बहुत बड़ा गेम चलता रहता है, and we just have to get over it and get on with it. तो मतलब मैं कॉलेज में था तभी पहला जॉब अप्लाई कर रहा था. आई थिंक आई शेयर दिस वेरी एंड गो फॉर नो इज अ बुक एज वेल. आई डोंट नो इफ यू नो और नॉट.
Okay, I
गो फॉर
didn't know.
नो इज अ बुक. मेरे कॉलेज में किसी ने तो बोला तू ये पढ़ एक बार. बोला भाई, मैं उठता हूँ, जॉब अप्लाई करता हूँ, खाता हूँ, जॉब अप्लाई करता हूँ, सोता हूँ, उठता हूँ, खाता हूँ, जॉब अप्लाई करता हूँ, सो जाता हूँ. ये मेरा दिन चल रहा है. इसमें बुक कहाँ से बोलूं? नहीं, तू पढ़. सो इट इज मैंने दो ही चैप्टर पढ़े एंड इट कवर्स लॉट ऑफ सेम और सिमिलर स्टफ दैट यू जस्ट सजेस्टेड एज वेल. एक चीज समझा कि वो सिचुएशन में मेरे लिए द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग वाज मेरे को एक जॉब चाहिए. तुम 1000 करो, 600 करो, 2000 करो, इट डजेंट मैटर. यू वांट वन जॉब एट दैट पॉइंट.
Hmm.
सो दैट वाज समथिंग दैट स्टक इन माय हेड. एंड अभी जब आपने एक्सप्लेन किया, व्हाट हैज स्टक इन माय हेड इज ये सॉक 100 का एग्जांपल एंड द केएफसी एग्जांपल. व्हाट दैट टोल्ड मी इज 80-20 पैरेटो प्रिंसिपल एट द एंड अप्लाई करता है. 20 लोग तो शायद हाँ बोल देगा, 10 लोग हाँ बोलेगा, 20 लोग शायद बोलेगा, 10 लोग कर देगा. व्हाट इज द हार्म इन ट्राइंग? आई थिंक दैट इज अ टेक अवे. आई थिंक what you told about your prospecting book and all of this is falling into place for me. It is more like shaking up the numbers and just go for it.
Nice. So for me, one of the takeaways from this book, which I found exciting is हम लोग disappoint क्यों होते हैं? Because we want a yes. एंड बिकॉज वी वांट अ यस, हम खुद के दिमाग में इतना प्रेशर डालते हैं कि अरे यार क्या क्या सॉरी क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा. एंड नो इज एन एब्सोल्यूट डिजास्टर. नो हुआ तो मैं फेल हो गया, सो इट्स दैट wanting to go for yes creates all this game in the dimag, as Pushkar said, and that's what affects us. But the moment you say, when you're going to meet a client, okay, you tell yourself, I want a no from him here. Chalo. Okay, I'll go and make my presentation, but I want a no. Suddenly the pressure is lifted off from you, and surprisingly, when pressure is off and you're being your own casual self, the sales pitches are also much more effective. एंड आपने नो को टारगेट किया, यस मिला, तो आप निराश तो नहीं होंगे ना. सो दैट इज फाइन. सो यू कैन जस्ट चेंज योर टारगेट कंप्लीटली एंड से आई वांट अ नो. चलो मैं नो के लिए जा रहा हूँ, लेट्स सी क्या होता है. सो इवन इफ इट्स अ नो, यू आर ओके. सो दैट फॉर मी इज खुद के ऊपर बेकार का प्रेशर नहीं डालना है. यू जस्ट बी योर नेचुरल सेल्फ. लेट द योर पर्सनैलिटी, द प्रोडक्ट एंड योर जेन्युइन क्यूरियोसिटी कि कस्टमर के लाइफ में क्या हो रहा है मुझे जानना है, मैं उनको कैसे हेल्प कर सकता हूँ मुझे जानना है. ओके. सो हाँ, ओके. पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस मेरा एक शेयर करता हूँ. द वे business coaching works, right? The business coaching, how we promote our business, etc., etc. We offer a free coaching session for a client, and in that coaching session, we promise certain things, right? So we'll clarify the goals for you. We will um, uh, understand what the roadblocks are. We will create an action plan for the next 6 months, etc. All this in the free coaching session. अभी expectation क्या है at the back of this, that okay, I do the coaching and he sees what it is, and in the end I have to do a sales pitch and then finally convert him into a paying customer. So ये सब करने के पीछे अगर मेरे दिमाग में ये ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि इसको कन्वर्ट करना है, एंड दैट इज माय डेफिनेशन ऑफ सक्सेस, कि इसको मैंने कन्वर्ट कर दिया तो मैं सक्सेसफुल हूं, नहीं तो नहीं. ओके. It was a disaster for me when I was doing that. Every time I will feel disappointed, this, that. I reached my mentor and said, and he said, Arun, what is this? What are you doing? It's a free coaching session. Coach the person. That is it. Forget everything else. Coach the person. Usko value add karo. Do the best you can to add so much value to the person that he should find that useful. That is all. उसके अलावा तुम्हारे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है. ये यस नो सब छोड़ दो. सडनली दैट होल जो ब्लड प्रेशर था वो सब नॉर्मल हो गया, हार्ट बीट नॉर्मल हो गया. नेक्स्ट फ्यू सेशंस आई जस्ट सेड, एंड सरप्राइजिंगली conversion started happening, because I didn't go with my agenda in my head. I went with the customer's agenda, saying, let me help you. So the best thing a sales guy can do is customer's agenda. Say, let the sales happen. You focus on the customer agenda. I think that's the best thing you can do. You don't put pressure on yourself. You just be this friendly, helpful person. Rather than becoming a salesperson, become an assistant buyer. What does that mean? He's the buyer, you become his assistant and help him to buy. You don't try to sell. I think that's the best way you can approach this whole process, right? Okay, guys. It's a shorter session today, just 1 hour. But wish you once again a happy Diwali and belated New Year and belated Diwali. Today is 27th of October. So in the next month, we will look at doing it on 10th and 24th. So I hope that is fine. So I will schedule that accordingly. Right?
Sure.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
thank
much.
you. It was really wonderful.
Thank
On
you. Thank
लाइटर नोट, थोड़ा यंगर डेज में अगर सेशन होता था तो अप्रोच लड़कियों को भी कर सकता था मैं.
हाँ,
फियर ऑफ
सही बात
रिजेक्शन.
है. ट्रू. ट्रू. यू नो मैं भी शायद अप्रोच कर लेता किसी को.
फियर ऑफ रिजेक्शन इतना हाई था कि आई नेवर अप्रोच.
पुष्कर, इट्स नॉट टू लेट फॉर यू यार.
Taking notes, sir. Taking notes.
डॉक्टर प्रीति, प्लीज डोंट माइंड.
ठीक. Okay,
Chalo, sir.
guys.
Thank
चलो,
you. It was a
बाय
phenomenal
बाय.
session. Have a good
Bye.
night.
बाय.